Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matt, and I've got a pretty exciting video here. I am blown away. So I haven't done a Sir Jack-a-lot video in a while. He's been in CRSR for quite a bit now, and usually his trades aren't that long, but this video is going to be somewhat of a double hitter. I'm going to cover his move that he made that, unfortunately, I am so sorry, guys. I didn't see his move being made until it was too late, but we're going to cover that. And then lastly, I'm also going to cover UWMC, which used to trade under the ticker GHIV, which I've been covering for a while ever since it was a SPAC. But so jumping right into it, if you take a look at my screen here, Sir Jack-a-lot started trading back in, I want to say it was February or March of 2020 with around $40,000. We've been tracking his moves since November of 2020. Wow, kind of crazy. So it's already been just under 5 months, and he has gone all the way up to just nearly $3 million. And what I want to point out here is I want you to take a look at the bottom right, where Sir Jack, he sent me a message on March 1st at 6:37 p.m. that said, all in Rocket. If you don't know what Rocket is, RKT, it's Rocket Mortgage Companies. And Rocket Mortgage Companies is a stock in the mortgage lending industry. And then yesterday he sent me a message saying that aged well, LOL. And then I logged on this morning. I didn't log on in the past 2 days, and man, am I hitting myself over the head for that. As you can see, I just saw this post saying you hit it big on that one. So let's go into that move. So on March 1st, he bought $1.7 million worth of Rocket Mortgage Company stock. We're just gonna go right back to what it's sitting at today. $1.7 million. He gained $1.2 million in the last 2 days. His position was at $24.12. And at the time of this snapshot, you can see the price was at $41.60 for a 72.42% gain. He is just under $3 million. Now, if you've been following this, you know that his goal is $10 million so that he can eventually take, his 4% returns per year and live on 400K and get out of this silly rat race. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, my biggest goal is basically to retire early and as well get out of the rat race and just enjoy my time. But so, I can't stress how excited I am for him, and also how apologetic I am to you guys for missing that message, because I usually cover his moves right away. As soon as I see them, I make a video like within hours, because I know he makes great moves. His track record's absolutely great. And oh man, please forgive me, guys. It's a 72% gain in 2 days. Whew, I missed out, and I apologize for not getting that out to you guys sooner. So on the other end, something else I wanted to show you guys very quickly is that there is a post here from Wall Street Bets OGs, a separate subreddit on Reddit, where somebody had left a comment on a Rocket Mortgage post. And I'm gonna read it here because it's a little blurry, and it says, all right, someone save this comment for posterity or keep track. If Rocket goes past 30 by March 5th, 2021, I will print out this comment on a piece of paper and eat it. If I see one more person try to pump Rocket and say, oh, it's changing the home loan game, I'm gonna flip a table. Mods ban me if it happens, and I don't deliver within a week after March 12th. Edit, I mean even intraday. It even touches 30 or higher. None of this, it has to end at 30 by end of day. Well, it's sitting at $41.60, and you know what? I gotta give user Unplayable Conundrum some respect, because he did it. He printed out the comment. He soaked it in some water, he put some barbecue sauce on it, and he ate it. So you have Sir Jack-a-lot on one end, who made $1.2 million in 2 days off of Rocket Mortgage, and then you have another guy who had to print out his comment, eat it with some barbecue sauce and a Coke. But all right, fast forwarding to UWMC. So UWMC is a stock that I've been covering for a while, which is also in the mortgage lending space. It is actually the number 2 mortgage lender in the US. It's the number 1 wholesale mortgage lender in the US. They previously traded under GHIV, which was the SPAC. It was Gore Holdings 4 SPAC, and they merged with United Wholesale Mortgage, which now trades under UWMC. So UWMC, if you've been following, you know that it hit a peak around $14 back when it was a SPAC, and back when SPAC hype was, going nuts during the definitive agreement time period. And ever since that point, it has been on a steady slide, and it has been hurting. If you watch my losers and winners video, you would know that this stock was one of the biggest losers for me that, just really hurt. It hurt because it's one that I believe in so much. Fundamentally, it is there. It is a solid company. It is really good. It's got a great dividend. And as it kept dropping in price, that dividend just kept getting juicier and juicier. But there was no end in sight. It kept sliding to the sub $8 level, to where the dividend was over 5%. And so what did Matt do? He bought more. I really believed in it, and I really, I like the stock. So I bought more. I brought my average way down to the point of where, actually, as of this morning, I saw it broke $11 in pre-market. Granted, it is pre-market, so I'm not sure if it'll stick or not. We'll see. However, I am hopeful on this simply because, for one, I don't have a crystal ball. So as always, do your own due diligence, guys, before you start investing in these stocks. But I'm hopeful on the stock because it had a monster 2020. Now, I understand that 2020, during the pandemic, mortgage lending had shot through the roof. It's been an insane year for mortgage lending companies, where their earnings, the amount of revenue that they brought in was just incredible. If you want a deeper dive into those financials, I have previous videos on Give, and I'll link it up here in case you want to see that, to figure out whether or not you want to invest in the stock. So click that link up here. However, in this video, I just want to cover my outlook moving forward. So as of right now, as it's spiking, it's gone up roughly 35 to 40% in the last, I want to say, day. So beginning of trading yesterday, it was in the high 7s, and now we're talking about breaking 11 in pre-market today. So that has just been a crazy rally, but this is happening for a variety of reasons. For one, with Rocket Mortgage having spiked so much in the last 2 days, it's only natural that there's a wave in the mortgage lending stock space. So this is more or less riding that Rocket Mortgage wave. Now, do I think it's unfounded? No, absolutely not, because UWMC is a solid company, like I've been saying. They are a good company. I really believe in the CEO, and I like him a lot, especially because his name's also Matthew. But he has said, and he has repeated many times over, that he is going to make the high end of analysts' price target of $14.50 a reality, and he plans on beating that. Now, this is someone who reinvests in his company. He gives a lot of incentives to his employees, whether it's through stock options, whether it's incentives with gifts and whatever it is at holiday parties and all that kind of stuff. I see that, he takes a lot of these profits, he reinvests it in the company, he expands the company, they're investing in AI for a faster, more efficient approach to pushing more wholesale deals through 2021. A very, very bullish sentiment that he has, which of course as a CEO, I would expect him to be bullish on his own company, is that he actually sees 2021 being a better year than 2020. Now, anybody looking at the numbers doesn't necessarily believe that, simply because there is going to be a tail off in the amount of loans that get processed in 2021. However, UWMC is combating that sentiment just by saying that they have a plan around getting a larger portion of the pie, a bigger portion of that market share, to offset that decline in 2021 of total amount of loans originated. So with that, I understand that they need to deliver. A lot of this is going to be vetted out through their earnings calls to see how they start tracking. So that is mainly what I'm going to be looking at, is the financials that come out during their quarterly earnings reviews. But one source that I am using is this post, which I have gone back through and I've checked a couple of the items in here, but I just want to stick to this post to try to keep this video a little shorter. Is This was posted back in January, and it's a blog called Yet Another Value Blog. And they pointed something out which I actually wasn't aware of, that is actually a pretty cool point for UWMC. And it's that at the end of March, if you do a little bit of light research on this, you'll actually find that the Russell indices, so the 1,000 and the 3,000, they're actually going to be adding UWMC to those indices. Now, there are certain institutional investors, hedge funds, what have you, that want to invest in UWMC. However, they can't. And that's because they have certain metrics or certain check boxes that they need to check in order to be able to invest in a stock. And sometimes it can be something as simple as being part of an index. So this will probably check that box for a lot of hedge funds. And once you start getting institutional investors in there, like I mentioned in my previous videos, you'll start to see a run up. Now, because we always cover the cons and not just the pros, something that I do see potentially happening is, because we're having such a massive rally, there may be a consolidation here over either the end of this week or the next week. I'm not sure. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. I brought my average down and I'm just holding. But this can consolidate, and then it can potentially run up as the stock gets added into the indices at the end of March. Who knows? So that is kind of what I possibly foresee happening. That is my future outlook on this, is that it consolidates a little bit and that it runs up as it gets added into the Russell indices. But then from there out, depending on what the stock price is sitting at that point, really my price target is probably around $15. If it blows past that, awesome. If it doesn't hit that, well, you know, this is one that I'm holding long term, and I'm sure it will hit that over time, especially because the PE ratio is low comparatively to other stocks in this industry. The forward PE ratio is low as well. So with that, you know, UWMC is one that I'm going to be holding on to long term, and I'm very, very, very happy to see that it had such a crazy spike, especially with all the factors that, you know, are contributing to this. So that's all I have for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you on the next one.